evening to the people of the Virgin Islands from Antigua to Just Van Dyke. A special good evening to the residents of the 8th Electoral District and those listening to us by radio and television. I am here in support of my very good friend, a man of integrity, a man that I know will serve the people of this district very well, a man who can do things, because while experience is important, if you have experience and you do nothing, you might as well have not had it in the first place. Talk is cheap, but money buy land, and Maryland will deliver for the people of the 8th District. I know that. But ladies and gentlemen, the government of the Virgin Islands a few months ago at a ceremony said that the social services sector in this country has been lagging behind. And I must say it is one of the very few things that I agree with them on. My friends, it is said that a society is judged based on how it treated seniors, its young, and the most vulnerable in its community. And ladies and gentlemen, the judgment is not good when it comes to the British Virgin Islands. We have not been as caring to our vulnerable citizens as we should have been over the last 4 years. As a matter of fact, life for our seniors has become much more difficult over the last 4 years. Ladies and gentlemen, the Adina Donovan Home for the Elderly is not one that is fit for our seniors. We have a country which has a projected income this year of $289 million. For a place that has this kind of potential to generate this kind of money, do you think that our senior citizens should be living the way they're living now? No. Just a few months ago, when the roof on the home was being repaired, we had our seniors camping out in the most uncomfortable manner at the Rotong Center. I have a problem with this. Our seniors need a modern facility where they can receive proper care in their golden years. They need a place where there are recreational facilities that will keep them active and keep their blood circulating well. A place where they have physicians to administer care. A place where they have the things that they need to make their lives comfortable. Our seniors worked hard for this country, and they have paved the ground upon which our leaders now loftily stand. And it's a burning shame that the new senior citizens home was not built by this administration, especially since the NDP laid the groundwork before they left office. No home was built for our seniors, but $2 million was spent on a wall and sidewalks in Seacows Bay. Putting the building of walls before a comfortable life for our seniors. But don't mind that. They will say because of the global recession, they couldn't build a home for our seniors. What about the life for our citizens with mental challenges? When you traverse the streets from east to west, you see our mentally challenged wandering in the streets with nowhere to sleep, nothing to eat, and no one to care for them. This again is a burning shame. And our leaders are touting international reports say this and international reports say that. Did you tell them that you have no place to put your mentally ill in this country? We need a mental institution in this country right away. A responsible society and a responsible government would know that you do not neglect the disadvantaged and less fortunate in the society. And when some of our mentally ill citizens commit offenses, they are taken to court and then sentenced to prison. This is in no way an indictment on the legal system. They are doing the best that they can with what they have. But prison is for criminals, not for someone who is mentally ill. We promote a country, our country, as a high-end tourist destination. And this sort of situation is not only unconscionable, but it could have profound effects on our tourism product. What would our leadership say if one of our mentally ill citizens seriously injures a tourist? There is no mental home for mentally challenged, but upwards of $5 million was spent on fixing a gut that still runs the same way and continues to damage people's property. But don't mind that. They will say that it's because of the global recession they couldn't do anything better for mentally ill citizens. And what about the hospital for Virgin Gorda? Our citizens in Virgin Gorda and the Sister Islands are brought down to Peebles Hospital on the back of a boat like cargo seeking medical attention. This government has been bragging that they've been ruling this country for over 40 years. And after 40 years, the people of Virgin Gorda still do not have a hospital, and the people of Antigua and Just Van Dyke still do not have a level of health care that is deserving to them as good citizens of this country. It is time for our citizens on our sister islands to be properly cared for, and we will do it. No hospital for Virgin Gorda, but upwards of $6 million was spent and continues to be spent on greenhouses that up to now has not even produced one okra. But don't mind that. They will say that it's because of the global recession they could not build a hospital for Virgin Gorda. And what about our citizens who are living with disabilities? Especially our children that are born with disabilities, such as autism, physical, hearing, and vision impairments, and learning challenges. The parents and guardians of these children are still having difficult times in finding assistance to care for their loved ones. These children have dreams and aspirations like all of us. And every effort must be made to ensure that they become productive members of our society. I pledge to you, fellow Virgin Islanders, your new NDP team, your new NDP government will give the parents, guardians, and children living with disabilities throughout these Virgin Islands the support that they need when we take office. Some of that money that was spent over the last 4 years on some of these useless studies could have been put towards providing the professional help that these children need. But don't mind that. They will say that it's because of the global recession they couldn't do nothing to help our children. The cost of living in this country has been on steady increase over the last 4 years, and it continues to increase. Our citizens who are on the lower end of the pay scale are having a hard time keeping food on the table and electricity in their homes. Our pensioners who have grown accustomed to living off of a particular monthly income are becoming alarmed because if this continues, they will not be able to keep pace financially. We hear constant excuses that the recession is responsible for the government's mediocre performance while in office. I ask you tonight, is the global recession responsible for this government not implementing the necessary policies to keep the cost of living down? No. This is not something that calls for money, but it would have saved our citizens millions and would have curtailed the exportation of our hard-earned money to St. Thomas. There are some very important things that can be done to improve the lives of our people that do not have a price tag attached to it. And this is one of them. When we take office, we will commence work right away to put the necessary mechanisms in place and make the necessary decisions needed to bring the cost of living down in these Virgin Islands. Ladies and gentlemen, Martin Luther King said that the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and confidence, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. My friends, we know that the Virgin Islands Party is now standing in challenging times because they know they have not performed, but yet they are asking you, the people, to return them to office for another 4 years. They have also realized that the people are not impressed with them, and the support that they've expected to receive at their rallies have not been forthcoming at all. So they're resorting now to the usual lies and trickery. And it seems to me that lies and trickery has now become a part of the DNA of the Virgin Islands Party. Did you hear them last night again? Pontificating? They shared absolutely no plans on how they intend to take this country out of the economic mess that they've put us in. No plans on how they intend to make life better for the people of the country. Absolutely nothing. Last night was all hat and no kettle. But ladies and gentlemen, I told you last Saturday night in Rotown that desperate men and women cannot be trusted. And my words did not fall on the ground. For last night you heard who should be honorable people dishonoring themselves with lies to win an election. Just to win an election, they looked in the eyes of the people of this country and told them that we will lay off the civil servants if we get elected. A nefarious plot to turn the civil service against the new NDP. The civil servants know that this is not true. I never said that. We never said that. And the proof is there. The tapes from the rally is there. The information on credible internet news sites are there. It is in all the newspapers this week. You can see it for yourself. While trying to gain political points last night, the only benefit that accrued was the people once again saw that the only time that the VIP knows how to be economical is when it comes to telling the truth. You cannot believe a word that comes out of their mouths. They were the ones who placed the hiring freeze on the civil service. Yes. They were the ones who commissioned this very same KPMG study on the civil service. But I tell you, a false witness shall not be unpunished. And he that speaketh lies shall perish. But as our supporters say, the only people that we want to cut from the BVI government are the lame VIP ministers and the entire backbench. It seems to me that these same men and women do not understand the seriousness of the present situation in the Virgin Islands. It seems to me that they cannot understand that times in the Virgin Islands are hard, or people are without jobs, funds are scarce, and the future for many appear bleak. Or perhaps we should blame that. Blame their lack of understanding on the global recession. But in all seriousness, our territory is in need of honest men and women to take it forward. the issues we presently face will not disappear after November 7th. It is only then the real work will start to get us out of the ditch that we're presently in. So far, you have been hearing from our trusted leader, Honorable D. Orlando Smith, your next premier. You have heard from your next 8th District Representative, Marlon A. Penn. And we have been speaking with you, our fellow citizens, and collectively offering solutions to our challenges. We will need to rally together as a country to help the Virgin Islands get out of this mess and find those opportunities to rebuild confidence in our economy and truly make life for all our citizens, our elderly, our mentally ill, and disabled citizens the best it can be in the Caribbean. But ladies and gentlemen, before I leave, my grandmother used to say that when you're digging grave for somebody, you dig two. So while they tried to trip up the NDP last night, one of their large members said, where will the NDP get all this money for their plans? Are we to believe that that is a tacit confession that the country is broke? Is that the reason why the Auditor General's report for 2008, 2009, and 2010 has not been tabled? What if we want to carry that rumor that the country is broke, that you said the country is broke? When you're digging grave, dig two. So my friends, when they come to you with their tricks and their lies, you tell them that now is not the time for such political gimmicks. Now is serious time. If they insist on trying to convince you that the global economic recession crisis prevented them from doing their job, ask them again, what are your solutions? And ask them this, the recession is still in effect. As a matter of fact, there's talk that it may be a double-dip recession. If you couldn't perform in the first recession, how can you perform in the second recession? The global economic landscape has changed, and these guys just don't have it. Ask them what are their plans to move this country forward, and you will find out that there's nothing there. All hat and no cattle. On November 7th, I urge you, my fellow citizens, vote for a better Virgin Islands. Vote to give back this country to leaders that are honest, ready, and have a proven track record of doing things and moving this country forward. On election day, vote the new National Democratic Party all the way, because we are still the best hope for this country's future. I thank you.